Begin transmission. Hello, everybody. It is Outer Rim Transmissions, episode 210. Here with Milton, here with Ben. We're here to talk about a Star Wars trailer that came out last week, but we decided, you know what? Why break down two trailers in 1 week when we're going to have some space to talk about this next one in its entirety on its own show? So tonight we're going to be diving deep into Star Wars Visions Volume 3. I know we got a sneak peek at it at Celebration back in April, but now we have a full-fledged trailer, so we're excited to get into that tonight. Milton, we missed it out last week. I know we had an impromptu show with the Mando Grogu trailer that I was just kind of laughing about, saying, "Oh, watch we get a trailer tomorrow." I guess I'm like not, Nostradamus or whatever his name is, because I predicted that one. So how's it going, man?
It's good, man. Just back on the podcast. You're right. We just got that trailer. Was it last week? And we got the Visions trailer. But yeah, I watched that Mando trailer and I'm kind of with you. I think it was just but we can give that opinion another time.
Yeah, still removed almost 2 weeks later, and haven't really thought about it much other than when people bring it up at work. They're like, "Did you see that?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was horrible." Like, I'm being so I find myself being so pessimistic lately with that trailer. Just like, and they're kind of shocked. Like when I say that reaction, they kind of like, "Whoa, what? You're talking bad about Star Wars?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's just not that evocative of anything exciting. I don't know." So yeah. What's going on, Ben?
How much? Just another Sunday, hanging out, watching football, watching mine and Milton's teams lose today, unfortunately. And then yeah, just ending the weekend by talking some Star Wars with you guys. Definitely had an interesting weekend Star Wars for me personally, just consuming content because I watched. I think it was probably beginning of this past week, or maybe middle of week, whatever. Star Wars Theory, everyone knows him on YouTube. He like read several pages of the making of Return of the Jedi, like the full behind the scenes stuff from it. Like, it's a big, book and whatnot. And anyways, he was reading it, and it's interesting because in 1981, I mean, this was new information for me that I learned anyways. You guys might have heard about this, but in 81, George and Mark Hand and some of the other, like the 4 or 5 people that were kind of like the pseudo story group back then, like basically the people that George bounced ideas off with. He was going over he was telling the group Anakin's whole backstory. And the crazy thing was he had the whole essentially Order 66 thing and all of that clear back in 1981 because like he was talking to them about how the Emperor started working his way into Anakin's life at a young age, and then also how Anakin, once he got older, he eventually turned on his Jedi friends and like started hunting them down. And then even he had put in there how he was telling them how Anakin got injured because Obi-Wan like force pushed him into a lava pit. So there was that. And then one other little interesting tidbit that was mentioned in that video was so Padme, well, at the time, the name wasn't available, but they had it as Leia's mom. Leia's mom was supposed to survive until she was around 2 years old, and originally, and that's why in the original trilogy, if you think about it, when Leia talks about having memories of her mother, most people are like, gosh, it doesn't make sense. She was literally minutes old and Padme died. But now, like, with that context, it's like, oh, that makes sense why Leia potentially had more memories because she was like 2 years old versus, minutes old or something. So it was interesting just hearing all of that, hearing the backstory of Anakin. And yeah, it was just learning some information I've never heard before from the making of Return of the Jedi book.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's nice to go back in time and see how things were that accurate back then.
Yeah.
Years and years before. We're talking about probably 1980, 1981. That's almost like about a good 15 years or so
Yep.
before he started writing Phantom Menace, and he already had this rough idea, and it's just all right. Let's try to figure out how we can make this more concrete. But yeah, it's always fun
Yep.
taking a trip down memory lane.
Oh yeah, and then one
Yeah.
other little interesting thing too, guys, that I've seen other folks also mention this week as well, from the original, because I seen Theory talk about Return of the Jedi book. I think it was Star Wars Meg talked about the Phantom Menace book this week. They were making a book for that, but like the original concept George had for Phantom Menace was exact same movie essentially, but flip flop Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan's name. So like Obi-Wan was going to be the master, Qui-Gon was going to be the apprentice, and then that's essentially why, like, if you look at it, and like George was thinking of putting in basically in that Phantom Menace book, George was thinking of throwing in pretty much major retconning the original trilogy because he was going to have Qui-Gon take on his master's name in honor of Obi-Wan, and that's why like in that making of Phantom Menace book, like that's pretty much like George
Right.
acknowledges like that's why the line in A New Hope when Obi-Wan says, Obi-Wan, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time because he's actually quote unquote Qui-Gon. So that was another little tidbit I learned about too.
Yeah, that's pretty neat to just again mine the old things,
Yep.
mine the old things. There's so much that just goes
Right.
through. There's so much with Star Wars that's been documented over it's almost 50 years now. Like there's still these little nuggets that keep popping up, or like, how do we not hear about this? Like even 30 years ago, 20 years ago in our lives, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that's because social media didn't exist. I think that helps.
Yeah.
I think having no Facebook or internet or whatever was helpful. But what I take away from that is how we've heard the criticism of George Lucas, people saying, "Oh, he's not a great storyteller," or this, that, and the third. He's more of a visual director, and it's like, wait a minute, this proves that he had a plan. This proves he was thinking long term. Now, yes, did he retcon some things? Did he adjust on the fly? Yes, that's what a great creator does. But this shows that he was thinking more of Star Wars, not only in the present, but also in the future. He saw that this could be a great thing that he was creating. So I think we need to give him his flowers, and I think we do. But give him his flowers on, like, hey, I was coming up with a long term plan for this
Yep.
story, what it really means. So I just love that,
Well,
which is
Milton.
why I think we all the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy.
Oh yeah. Well,
Or excuse
Milton.
me, prequel trilogy. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. One funny thing I thought of when I was listening to that Return of the Jedi video, I thought about you because I was like, man, I'd love to see Milton's reaction though. People say their stuff about George, like you said. Um, he has made some great decisions too, because also another thing that was noted in that Jedi book was so when Vader throws the Emperor down the cavern, when they were considering the Emperor's death scene, some of the options they like kicked around were throwing him into a pit of
Right.
snakes, throwing him
Yeah.
there was one, it was like a physical altercation where they were going to have him pretty much wrestling around him and the Emperor Vader and the Emperor wrestling around the Death Star floor, and they ended up getting to where they got to, but it was like, holy smokes, I'm glad they didn't go with like snakes or slugs or something.
Right.
Oh yeah, as far as for my week in Star Wars, I have another show and tell. I very proud of these miniatures that I painted because they are some
Nice.
special characters in my mind, and it is none other than not just one, not just two, but 5 members of the Bad Batch. Oh gosh, is it gonna get it? There's Hunter there. Let's see the 1080p quality of my camera here. Yep. So these are for Star Wars Legion. These are a blast to paint. There's Crosshair. He was tough getting the little white around his little scope on his eye there. We got good old even good old Omega with her with her little light bow there. So I've been having fun with these, having a lot of fun with these. Let's see. There's Wrecker. I was surprised I was able to. get his mask as well as I did, his helmet as well as I did, because these things are tiny, very, very small. Not the smallest miniatures I've ever painted. The Grogu miniature is definitely really microscopic, but then the last one here they even threw Echo in there. This good old Echo. But yeah, and then I was just another fun thought I had was I was just at the hobby shop actually picking up more paints and stuff just before we recorded, and I started going down the realm of the dark side when I was there, because I started looking at all the Warhammer 40,000 stuff, or really Warhammer 40K to be exact.
Oh, yeah.
People won't take me seriously unless I say 40K, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's like it's a very popular franchise. I know a lot of content creators for Star Wars are actually started to do
Amazon's
40K.
making something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very rich universe. You talk about Star Wars expanded universe. They're this Warhammer franchise rivals that. Henry Cavill's really big into it. There's so many factions. I was looking at all the miniatures, but oh my gosh, like, do not get into this thing unless you have a good income coming in, because there is like some single miniatures. Mind you, these things are not assembled, they're not painted, that are like $60-$70 for one little guy, like the size of one of my little Legion guys was like $60. I'm like, what? How?
That's crazy.
So it is crazy. The people over in England that produce some Games Workshop, man, they're renowned for just being freaking expensive. But I'm not going to get into that, at least in the next decade. I was doing Warhammer 40,000 back when they didn't have Star Wars Legion back literally 20 years ago. I was painting these things going, oh, I wish I was painting Stormtroopers right now. And I got the closest thing that looked like a Stormtrooper, which was a Space Marine. And now Space Marines are like all the rage ever since like the new game came out last year. People are just loving the franchise, and there are people getting into it. I have a coworker of mine. He says, I think I'm going to get into that Warhammer 40K. I'm like, oh, wow, because another one of my friends just got into it. It's spreading like wildfire. People are really getting into this stuff. There's a whole endless loop of YouTube video essays and everything. I'm telling you, man, it's this franchise. Like, I know some people are burnt out of Star Wars. Give that a try, because it's just as in depth, probably, as Star Wars, with all the different factions and the characters and just the timeline and everything else. It's kind of crazy. So I know at this point there are people out there looking for something else besides Star Wars. I would say, you want another sci-fi franchise, go ahead and check out Warhammer 40,000. Pick up a book, pick up a box of miniatures, paint them, pick up one of the codexes that'll tell you how the armies function and all that sort of thing, because it is really vast, really deep. So there's my recommendation for the week.
Nice. It's always good to expand your horizons and find some other deep franchises like that. I've heard the same thing though, Chris, that it's a really in-depth franchise and whatnot. Like, I know some of the other Star Wars YouTubers I follow have said like they haven't got into Warhammer because they know how in-depth it is, and they're like, it's just so much to catch up on, essentially, or whatever.
Oh yeah, it's been going on since like the early 80s. So I mean, almost as long as Star Wars, really. So it's pretty cool. Like, I'm gonna just end up playing the game, and at one point I did take out my miniatures and I was looking at them from when I painted them when I was 12 years old, and I was like, oh gosh, this was horrible. This was so bad. This is back when they didn't have YouTube. Like, I didn't watch painting tutorials. I just picked up a what is it called? A White Dwarf magazine, which was like the official Games Workshop like magazine. I said, do this step. And it's like, cool. And like my miniatures looked like a glob of just like non-detail paint, because I put way too much spray paint on them to prime them, and then it's just a glob of paint. But hey, it's a good reminder to be like, hey, I guess I've gotten kind of decent at this by all the time I've put into it. But yeah, some reminiscing. But yeah, what about you, Milton? Do you have any recent plays of? I know football season's upon us. Did you perhaps have any updates with Jedi Fallen Order?
I actually do.
Okay, let's
I
hear
actually
it.
beat the game.
Oh
I
shoot, you
beat the
beat the
game
game. Okay, we got
Oh,
to break
last
this
dang.
week.
down.
Yeah, I beat the game last week. I got all the secrets. I think
Ooh.
all of the treasure chests. Like I 100 completed it. Like
Hmm.
all those
Oh,
things.
nice.
I went to every planet and got everything. Um, yeah, I like the game. It was really, really cool. Love the story. I loved how it was challenging. Um, I wish after I beat it, there was like another feature to it. Like I was kind of disappointed at the end. Whenever you win, you do your Vader, you fight Vader. You know, you get wrecked. You get the holocron. But I just wish, yes, it's still open world, but it just kind of like, okay, you're done. You know, isn't like
Yeah.
you don't expand on the world. I wish they had what do you call it, like extra expansion worlds that you can travel
Hmm.
after you complete the whole main story. But other than that, thought the gameplay was great. Loved the story. Loved the way they did the combat. Loved how they utilized the force. That was cool. The puzzles were cool. So overall, I love the game. I can't wait to play Jedi Survivor. I actually downloaded that. Well, not downloaded it. My wife bought it for me like 6 months ago. So I actually uploaded it to my PlayStation 5, and I'll probably start playing that probably this upcoming week or weekend.
Oh man, yeah. So what'd you think about the fight against? Was it the third sister? No, what's her name?
Was it the second sister? I
Second
think.
sister. Yeah, it's
Second,
got to be
wasn't it?
second. Third is from Obi-Wan.
Yeah, yeah.
How
She
did
was
you have
tough.
difficulty with
She
her?
was definitely
Yeah.
sometimes like it was definitely a challenge when she does her weird like
Mm-hmm.
force like shaking or like she pauses the
Yep.
screen, all that stuff. It was tough, but I was able to figure that out and work through that. So I beat her, no problem.
But then
Um,
Vader,
Other than that
how'd you think
though,
about the Vader part? Did you know that was coming when the Vader moment happens?
yeah, I knew it was coming, but it was still cool because literally you see old girl talking to you. She's talking all this shit, and all of a sudden you hear the breathing. I'm like, wait a minute. And then old boy, like the way I couldn't even imagine seeing that in real life. Like, could you imagine that in the live action version?
Oh.
And how he just walks up and Cass is like, who's that? And she's like, something worse. And I'm like, you're damn right. And I love how the game tricks you as a player to think, oh, I can take on Vader.
Yeah.
You can't. Like he's gonna wreck you. So
Oh,
it
that's
was
so
cool.
good.
I like that. I like that ending. I loved it. It was nice to get through the game. I'm excited to see what Survivor brings next.
Yeah, and I will say you'll be very happy with Survivor because after you finish the game, you can go back. There's so much extra stuff in that
All right.
game. It's not an open world game, but one of the planets is pretty much almost like open world. And there's so many like little
Okay.
side bosses you can fight and like all these things they could do even after you finish like the actual story. So I'm so pumped. Like we
Nice.
haven't gotten any word on the third game. Like, and I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I know there was a big deal in EA. Ben, I'm
Yep.
sure I know you know all
Yeah.
about this. Like, so basically, for anybody that's interested in Jedi or AA games, it's worth being a little bit worried right now because there's a big investment firm thing. I don't even know what you would call it, but it's some
What,
big.
essentially about a $50 billion buyout or something like that?
Yeah, they bought them out for 50 billion, made EA private. But that means that they have full control over everything they do now over at the company. It's either you're public and you have shareholders to worry about, or if you're private, then it's just like, okay, we got to worry about the top brass just deciding to do something or not to do something. And
Hmm.
well, there's some people worried that these people that are leading the company now, or it won't go through until 2027,
Yeah.
that there might be some shakeups involved. Maybe some projects that are in development could just suddenly be canceled if the new leadership decides, oh, that's not going to be profitable, cancel it, kind of thing. That'll never happen to Jedi 3. That is that series so far has been very, very, both critically and financially, very, very successful. But it is interesting to know, like, okay, there is going to be a little switch in leadership, a little bit of switch at EA coming up, but that won't even be going through for like another 2 years. But yeah, it's crazy because like Xbox, Microsoft bought out Activision for like $67 billion, so it's like another gigantic
Mm.
purchase. Like everything's just getting swallowed up these days by other companies. It's nuts.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
it
okay.
just It seems like, to me anyways, it seems like it's like these companies are big, you know, big folks who have a lot of money. I mean, look at even, I feel like it's a lot of, also it's like a lot of rich folks or rich investing groups that want to just keep acquiring big assets. I mean, look, Elon bought Twitter. Now we have this EA thing where they're getting bought out for 50 billion, and so on and so on. And there's other talks of other, even some of the movie studios potentially could be getting bought out. So like it's just I don't know, it's an interesting time for the entertainment industry as a whole, for gaming and
Hmm.
movies and shows, because it's like, it just seems like it's like some of these rich people or rich groups are just like, they're just accumulating these big assets, whether it be good or bad. I mean, it's kind of like a wait and see, really. But but yeah, I'm definitely interested to see how it impacts it. And like you said, Chris, like for our direct Star Wars impacts, like it's not gonna mess with the Jedi franchise because, they're not gonna eliminate something that makes tons of money.
Yeah, that's what it all comes down to is
Right.
dollar signs here. So Star Wars should
Oh,
be
yeah.
pretty safe on that front.
Right. Right. And then, I got one more. So speaking of dollar signs,
Cool.
this isn't like really crazy, but I sent it to you guys in the group chat. So I was able to find some old games again.
That was
Um,
awesome.
yeah, The Phantom Menace on PlayStation 1 and Jedi Power Battles on PlayStation 1.
Love that game.
Haven't played them yet since I bought them. I'm curious to see how they're going to play. They were like $5 a piece at this vintage store that's in the town that I
Ooh.
live in. So I was lucky. So I can't wait to see what they're like.
Yeah, I played that game a little bit over a year ago, Jedi Power Battles, and oh yeah, it did get released. Like you can actually buy that game on any console now. Remember they did re-release that, so that's
I
fun.
think it is, yeah.
Mm.
But it was just cool that I was able to pick it up like in
Yeah,
regular original settings. So I'm like, well, I'll hold on to it, and then yeah, I'll probably get it on PlayStation 5. And because I know Phantom Menace is on there too for like the PlayStation Plus. But no, it was just cool. Like the guy had it, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll take it." He's like, "Okay, $5 a piece, like easily."
yeah. The Phantom Menace was just such a difficult game. I
Yeah,
really just, first of all, back in the time before cable, it was dial-up, and having to download the freaking files or whatever you had to do to play the game was just
Yep.
absolutely terrible. And then and then you would have to have a computer that could even run the damn thing. So I never ended up
right.
really playing through any of it past like Naboo, I think,
Yeah,
because it was like basically what I had to do, and I think I might have told this story before. It was like I could never play it at home, but if I went to either of my aunt's houses, I would be able to play it on their computer. But the problem would be I would have to literally load the game from
every
fresh
time.
start on there, and then I would have to start at the same place and then play for like an hour, and then all my data would be gone basically the next time I would play. So
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't know. I listen. There's just something about that time, though. It was like okay, like you kind of had to learn how to like really master the game in like one sitting.
They were hard. They were hard games back then. I mean, I think I sent you the reel the other day, Milton. Back in the day, that late '90s, early 2000s era, like the Revenge of the Sith game is one of the hardest games
mm,
ever, just because it's just like it's just one of those games, Chris. If you haven't played through Revenge of the Sith in a while, it's just like it. That's another really really hard game, because like every boss battle, like even the small battles, like when you're battling, like when you go, like the little video I seen, like the guy pointed out, when you go into the Jedi Temple, for example, you're Anakin, and you battle Syndralik's apprentice first. The apprentice, you have to keep playing over and over and over again because they're so dang hard. And then you get a Syndralik, and that's another thing. And like that Revenge of the Sith game, it's another one of those early 2000s games where it's just like you're getting peppered with like lightsabers and hit with boxes and junk, and it's just so overwhelming. It's just like a super hard game, like like Phantom Menace, or like what was the other one you played, Chris? Oh, like Bounty Hunter. Those type of games back then were just really hard.
oh yeah, well I was cursing when I was playing Bounty Hunter. Forget what level it was, but I was like, this is
Mm.
just Come on, guys. Try to improve the game a little bit here. I know you're reporting it, but can you improve this level at least to be like more modern?
Well, my thing is, imagine like back then, like as kids, we're not thinking about how hard it is because we're like, we're like cool with hitting replay every time. But as adults, it's like, man, I'm replaying this thing like 20 times. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on here?
For me, I'm always just like, and I get like, there's a certain gamer out there, the Soulsborne people that love Elden Ring, that love Sekiro, that love,
That's not me.
all these kind of games where that's what's built in. You're meant to just replay the same bosses over and over again until you finally beat them, and then you get to another one, it's the same thing over again. That's not my kind of thing. The closest I get to that, Milton, is actually Jedi Fallen Order. Like Jedi Fallen Order is like a light version of that. You come across those bosses, you might die a couple times, but eventually you get by them. So there is that kind of gamer. They love that crap. For me, I'm just like, I want to get to the next game. Let me just get past this. I want to experience more things. I don't want to be stuck on the same boss for like 3 hours because we all have, we're all adults now. We don't have that kind of time to spend. And if I'm gonna spend that time, I'd rather feel like I'm getting somewhere with the damn game. So. Well, yeah, it's good reminiscing there. Good reminiscing there. So getting into our show proper, we have out this week, we have Star Wars issue number 6. So if you want to see Han Solo, Battle and Valence, and Luke Skywalker in Phase 2 clone armor taking down Separatist battle droids, no, this is not Lego Star Wars Revealed the Galaxy What If. This is actually a Star Wars canonical comic. Go ahead and check out the review on the YouTube site here, youtube.com/Starrapter. By the way, if you're watching, we are also on any podcast app of your choice. Just search Outer Rim Transmission, and we'll be there for you. Just look us up. All right, getting into it, we have two things to talk about. First thing, there's that annual convention I will be at next week in just a couple days here. New York Comic Con. It starts on Thursday, October 9th, and it goes through Sunday, October 12th. We have really like two main Star Wars things to mention here. The first one is on Thursday, October 9th. This is Hasbro Star Wars and Marvel panel, so it'll be at 11 a.m. in room 408. So yeah, if you're looking for like the latest from the Star Wars collectibles, go ahead and check it out if you're there. Unfortunately, I probably won't be at this one because as a huge fan of A Song of Ice and Fire, aka Game of Thrones, they're going to be having a panel for the next spin-off series, Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and the maker himself, George R. R. Martin, will be at that panel. So, sorry Marvel, sorry Star Wars and
you
Hasbro.
gotta be at that panel. Yeah, you got to be. I would have told you that already, Chris. I was going to say, if you're going to the Star Wars panel, skip that junk and go to the Game of Thrones panel. Like, I'm sorry, like we all love Star Wars here, but I mean, you got to go to that Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've seen an epic. There was an epic night that was last year or the year before, around the time of New York Comic Con. It was a conversation with Neil Gaiman, who is a prolific writer in fantasy and sci-fi and all. He wrote Sandman, he wrote American Gods, and all these other great stories. Him and George R. R. Martin were just two guys just sitting on the stage and just chit-chatting about writing and stuff. And it was like an hour and a half or 2 hour conversation. And man, was that thing insightful. So I'm like, yeah, George R. R. Martin's here again. Great, I'm going to that. The problem is, Ben, the George R. R. Martin is going to also be at his own panel, which is on Saturday, which is actually the next panel time for another Star Wars event, which was the big one for me. So this one, unfortunately, I cannot miss. And that is the Lucasfilm Publishing. So that will be Saturday, October 11th at 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. It's in room 406.2. And in this one, we're going to be, a plethora of authors: Adam Christopher, Charles Soule, Ethan Sachs, Jennifer Heddle, Kristen Baber, Kwame Mambala, and Mark Guggenheim, and maybe even some other people might be on that panel. But yeah, I mean, that's the biggest one of the week. They will be talking about, hopefully, maybe a new novel announcement, maybe a new comic book announcement. Who knows? But yeah, that's literally going on at the same time as a George R. R. Martin Q&A. So I'm like, dang it.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. Do you think they're just gonna? Do you think they could just? I mean, I'm sure they'll announce some new things there. I would assume, but do you think they would just preview the Vader book coming out in November?
Oh, they're definitely going to be
Or-
doing that because the author's there.
Mhm.
Yeah, Adam Christopher will be on that panel.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, they'll
Yeah.
be talking about that. I mean, it's really far out, but I would love if they just sold the darn thing like a month early.
Mm.
There's always a chance. Like there's a couple new Star Wars books that are coming out pretty soon, so there's a good chance I'll get one of them. Like we have Kwame Mabala, who's on that panel, is going to be releasing that Finn and Janna book, which is our first post return or Rise of Skywalker story. That's the Last Order. That's coming out like a week after this. So I'm assuming they'll probably sell it early at one of the booths. They usually do that. They also have, Ben, you'll like this one. The Revenge of the Sith novelization is getting like a new edition. I'm sure you heard of this one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so the
Yep.
new edition is coming out. So I'm sure they're also going to probably sell that early. I think it comes out a week or two later, so they'll probably sell that early. Or actually, I think it's coming out like that the Tuesday after, so they'll probably have it there. But yeah, I mean, last year it was nuts because they had a free book, but they limited it to like 50 people a day. And it
Oh my
was
God.
Alexander Freed's Mask of Fear, which came out actually in February, but they released it in early for people in October the previous year. Yeah, I was trying so hard to get that book. Like I was sneaking in to the Javits Center through entrances I probably shouldn't have been going in, just to like get into the building. And somehow the place opens at 10 a.m. and I would get at the booth at 9:50 a.m. and it would be sold out already. I'm like, guys, the place is not even officially open yet. It's like, oh, the VIP people got here first because I guess they get to get in like 30 minutes early or something. I'm like, come on. So I think Del Rey, who was the publisher of the book, realized how much grief that they got throughout the duration of that weekend, saying we are never going to do this again. You talk about giving a free book that is a book that's not out for another 3 months. It's a book that people really wanted to read about Mon Mothma and Saul Guerrera and Bail Organa. It's like, yeah, people are not going to be happy. So I feel bad for like the people I worked at that booth because I seen some of the people at the end of the weekend and they looked like really like run down and miserable. They're probably like, we're never doing this again. So it's fine. It was not fun, but you know, anyway, they learned their lesson, I guess.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm super excited for Comic-Con this weekend just because I'm not sure. I haven't looked too much into it. I'm assuming DC's probably gonna have a presence there.
No, I'm
Really?
really bummed. That's the one gripe I
Dang.
have this year. I know. I think the reason is the
Man.
timing. I think the timing's just really bad because the last episode of Peacemaker literally comes out during Comic-Con. It comes out that Thursday night, like
Oh.
this Thursday. So I think James
Yeah.
Gunn is probably just like, let's just have the focus on the last episode. That's not because they really need to start talking about. I know it's not a DC podcast, but screw it. They need to start talking about Lanterns because that's going to be coming out. That's the next project that in a DCU. We know it's coming out. I think the beginning of 2026. So I was hoping that they would have like some kind of panel to like bring on Aaron Pierre and whatever the actor that's playing, whatever his name is, the lead guy.
Yeah, I know
What is-
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's famous. I know exactly who he is. He's played in Friday Night Lights and other shows.
You know what's crazy though, Ben? The actor that we're referencing, his name is Chandler. Kyle, is it Kyle Chandler?
Yes.
So-
Yeah, that's him.
Ben, his daughter plays as the lead character in Alien Earth. That's his daughter. And she's
That's
going to be there
crazy.
at a panel on Thursday night for Alien Earth. So I'm like, that'd be
Dang.
hilarious if like he was there too, but
Still got to finish that show too. But
oh yeah, it's
that's-
over now. It was a great ending. And I'm
So-
hoping they announce season 2 because they haven't like gave it the green light. And Noah Hawley has already got ideas and wrote a treatment and everything. So it's just a matter of them saying, okay, do it.
I will say, I guess, kind of transition this a little back towards Star Wars. One good thing, guys, about being in more of a slow spot for Star Wars right now, with Vision's not until the end of this month, and so on. It gives us time to catch up on so many shows because, like, I don't know about you guys, but back in the day when like Mando was booming and Rebels was booming and all these shows were booming, it was like my whole focus was only on Star Wars, where it was like I felt like I could barely squeeze in other shows. And now at least this gives us a little bit of time to catch up on stuff.
Oh yeah. I spent last week going through a lot of TV that I've finally had a chance to catch up on. So it's been nice. It's been good. But yeah, that's New York Comic Con. One final thing related to Star Wars. If you are a Star Wars collector, you are in luck because Hasbro is actually having a booth. And I believe, as far as I've been there for like almost 10 years, I've been going to New York Comic Con. They've never had a Hasbro booth, and they've always had Hasbro booths at San Diego. Obviously, they have them at Celebration every time. But yeah, that's where you're going to be able to get the exclusive Mace Windu versus Chancellor Palpatine from Revenge of the Sith dual figure special edition box. It looks pretty sweet. Not gonna lie, like you actually have like two different head options for Palpatine. Obviously in that scene.
Cool.
So, oh man, it's gonna be hard to resist buying that. I feel like
How much is it?
I don't know, but I would have to guess it's gonna be $100
Okay.
because in Japan, I went and I bought the dual figure with the Ronin from Star Wars Visions, and I was like, oh, okay, it's probably like $60, $70, $99, and that was at the register, and I was like, well, crap, I guess I'm gonna just buy this now. They have gone up so much in price. That's why I'm just like, oh, I just don't know if it's like really worth it for me. I mean, it'd be cool to have, but again, I don't have space or room. It's gonna end up going in storage at some point. So like, what's the point? That's my idea with collecting at this point. Love to look at this stuff, but I just don't have anywhere to put it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is New York Comic Con in a nutshell. So we'll be back on Sunday, the 19th of October, to break down anything that came out of the event. So we'll be off next week. Obviously, I'll be there. So we'll see. Hopefully, we get some cool things and some other news in the meantime. But back to it for our Star Wars discussion. As I mentioned off the top, we got this trailer randomly, Ben. We got this trailer at like 9 p.m. on a Friday night. Usually we don't get any news on a Friday, let alone get Star Wars news at 9 p.m. Eastern. But the funny thing is, obviously, Japan is a good 13 hours ahead. So, obviously, as a show that is really like targeted at that audience for the most part, obviously Americans and everybody else as well. But it's derived from their culture. It was cool that they released it their time in the morning there when they would usually release the trailers for us here in America. So, throwing it over to Milton, did you have a chance to watch the Volume 3 trailer?
I did.
All right.
I did. I enjoyed it. I'm excited. It's funny because the week it comes out, that's the weekend I'll be traveling to see my brother in Minnesota. So that Halloween weekend. And I told him, I said, well, I guess we have something to watch when I'm up in Minnesota with you. Because we both like that series. And look, everyone knows how I feel about the animations when it comes to Star Wars. They can do no wrong, in my opinion, unless it's like something kiddie or childish that I just won't watch. But for the most part, they're batting a good 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 for me regarding their animation. And again, Volume 1 and 2 were amazing. I love that Volume 3 is going to be sequels to a lot of the season one stories.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I can't wait for that because I believe there's, and I'm sure you'll bring it up. There's a sequel to like the Ronin.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a sequel to the Ninth Jedi or something. Yep. I hope there's a sequel to the Robot Kid because I liked him, the Robot Jedi. I forget what that story was called, but I love that story. He kind of remind me of Mega Man, when it comes to that story. But I like that we're getting continuations of those stories because literally, I think the last episode of season 1 left us at a cliffhanger. I'm like, oh my god! I'm like, where's this going? Tell me more.
Yeah.
I give Linda what? There's like 15, 20 minutes tops.
Yep.
And it's like, and again, I'm not trying to put shade at the live action films, but what's upsetting is that these animations that are 20 minutes are telling us way more, and it's really good, and it's very much Star Wars. That's what I love about this Vision stories. And what's great is they're from other filmmakers and storytellers and animators that aren't from America, which is so dope. And that tells you that Star Wars isn't just an American thing. It's very universally global, and it touches different cultures in different ways. And I love that they bring that bring their cultures into Star Wars because it still is very much relatable. And that's why I think people really gravitate towards these shows, in particular this project, is because it's really well done and it actually feels like Star Wars.
Yeah, it gets the iconography so well, right? We're seeing those
Yes.
classic designs of Star Wars, but with obviously the anime flair to it. But, just listening to the dialogue, and by the way, I really do appreciate how Lucasfilm put out both versions of the trailer. They put out the dub and the sub, Japanese, English. So it was really cool to see. I watched both of them, just like, oh, it's neat. Because I spent over 100 hours in Assassin's Creed Shadows playing the game with their authentic canonical mode, which is basically just, it's all subtitles, it's all Japanese, really good VO. So after spending time there, after playing that game, I'm like, I'm gonna watch this both ways. Obviously, I'm gonna watch it in English first, then I'm gonna go back and watch them all, with the subtitles on, because it's like, from what I've heard from the voice acting, like this is really good. Obviously, top tier stuff coming to us from Star Wars and Lucasfilm. Ben, what was your analysis of the trailer there?
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you guys. Like, I think the new trailer, I think it was really good. It's nice, as Milton mentioned, it continues on from the first season. A lot of it continues on from the first season, which I really appreciate because I think we all really loved the whole, like the duel and the Ronin, and especially for me personally, I like the Ninth Jedi arc, or episode the best from the first season. So I'm excited they're continuing that on, because that was, to me, that episode specifically was the one where it was like, whoa, like we need a spin-off season of this episode,
Yeah.
So like I think it's great that they picked up on that from like the pulse of the fans of, it's nice how like, the second season was cool how they made new stories and everything. But I like that they picked up on it so much where it was like, oh yeah, people really, really liked a lot of those stories in the first season. So let's continue it
Mhm.
on. So I think to me, more more than just the details of the trailer itself, I think it's more of me being excited and happy that the creators actually listened to people's responses and like what people enjoyed versus, acting like maybe potentially their live action Lucasfilm counterparts. We won't point any fingers, but it's nice that they listened to what fans' feedback was, and we're
Yes.
getting what we want for a sequel for this series. Like that's all I can ask for, and they're doing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with everything you said. And Chris, I'll let you go in a second. I think that's the biggest takeaway is that the fans, us, we gravitated to this project from day one. We didn't know what Visions was going to be. I
Yep.
mean, honestly, this could have been a dud, realistically, for all we know. Just hearing the name Star Wars Visions, we're like, okay, what is this? It could have been whatever. And for what it was, that first episode set the tone, the duel. I mean, hell, they wrote a book. I mean, I think that might be Chris's favorite character, or maybe his favorite story at this point, because I know how much, Chris, you love that character and you love that story. I think you have the book, from my understanding.
Oh,
You
I
read it.
do. Yeah, I love how
So
they. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like we took Japanese culture, which has a lot of influence in Star Wars, but we
Hmm.
actually put Star Wars in that culture,
Yeah.
told a story, and we're like, oh my god, this relates so well. George will be proud of this. I'm sure he is. And it's like, oh my god, this is new. It's fresh, but it feels familiar, but it's also very intriguing, and I want to see more of this. That's how you keep us engaged. And I guarantee you, when we start reviewing these in the next 2 to 3 weeks, watch, and this tells you how good Star Wars makes, I think, create content creating. When Star Wars is good, look at all the content creating that these creators make, and I guarantee you it's going to be higher views because Vision Season 3 is going to be really, really good, and they're going to want to hear people like us talk about it. So I think there's a lot of correlation in that too. Like Lucasfilm, you're helping yourself. We make good property and
Yeah.
good product, and we're actually excited and talking about it. You get more fans engagement, you get more content put out that's free press, and also you get more growth with your property when you tell stories like Visions or whatnot. So again, I guarantee you the numbers will spike. and the overall Star Wars community by the end of October going into November, because I assume Visions Episode 3 or Volume 3 will be great.
Oh yeah, I mean that really sums it up, man. I mean, I like you said, I love how we got the culture of a lot of symbolism stuff from Star Wars from the Far East in Japan, and then we actually get to see that influence reverse with Star Wars injected into that. And that's why I love the duel so much, because it has so much of, again, iconography of both Star Wars, but of like the old samurai legends and all that sort of stuff, which is just so freaking cool. Yeah, I love the trailer. I think this is great. It just shows us so much variety. What I want to do now is, we're not going to do an in-depth breakdown because, this is just really just looking at amazing, cool art, not knowing story at least at this point. But like just starting with this one, there's just this amazing contrast of, looks like a young Padawan staring out into the abyss, and there's the green like Dathomirian looking kind of lights, that kind of energy. So it's like that constant Star Wars chosen one vibe where it's like, okay, you got this kid staring out at his destiny, such as like Luke Skywalker at the Binary Suns on Tatooine.
Yeah, what if it's the reverse of that though, where it's like on the bad side, on the Sith side?
See, that's what I like so much about the duel. Like they talk about like the Sith and the Jedi, and I'm pretty sure it's flipped. Like he's a Sith, isn't he? Like the Ronin. He's got a red lightsaber, but
yeah, I think he is. I think it's been a while since I watched the first season.
And also with the duel, Milton, there's actually 2 companion comic books, 1 or 2 that carry on his legacy. So that whole thing is getting franchised out. And just to go on a quick aside, yeah, I know. Just to go on a quick aside too, like don't forget too, at Celebration they announced that there's a new series of long form Visions episodes that are going to be labeled as Visions Presents, and the first one's going to be the Ninth Jedi, full length ongoing, not ongoing, but like a full length series. So hopefully we'll get a dual one someday. I mean, if it does well enough on here, maybe the creator will make that.
Listen, I'm about to say they can do the whole season 1 Vision Presents, tell all those in full length, because I like the current sequels that they're making for those 3 episodes. But they need to make a sequel episode to the twins. That's my favorite one. I love that episode. If they can tell that story more, oh my God, I'm locked in.
Yeah. No, I hear you on that one. I mean, I've voiced my opinion on that one. I'm just like, yeah, it's a little over the top for me. And of course, like a lot of stuff is obviously it's Star Wars, right? But yeah, to each their own. I might like it more now. I'm gonna watch all. I mean, I think it would do us all well to watch season 1 again before we watch volume 1. At least the ones that have sequels. Go ahead, Ben. Yeah.
Yep.
This next one here, it's nice getting some cool artwork of brand newly designed vehicles. I love Star Wars vehicles. It's one of my favorite things about the franchise. So seeing this looks like reminiscent of the Razor Crest / U-Wing. So it's cool that Lucasfilm is just like, here's the keys to the kingdom. Design whatever ship and character you want. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's always great to have more vehicles in Star Wars.
Now, this one pertains to Milton because there's a character here in this trailer that comes up multiple times. Really gives me like Mega Man vibes. I know it's a 012B or whatever the heck the one was from season 1 that I know you wanted to see a continuation of. Unfortunately, there is not a continuation of that one, at least this volume of Visions. But this one seems pretty cool because we see her later in the trailer, like straight up like transforming. So I think that's going to be a cool version of Star Wars.
Yeah, this is very much my type of animation. It's very much that anime Sentai feel that I grew up watching, whether it was Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, Pizza Cats. I mean, you can go on and on. Like this feels like my type of animation, and I'm curious to see what this story is going to be all about. So I think once I watch this, I'm sure I'm going to be locked in and engaged on every particular episode. But yeah, this looks cool. I like how it's very much feels like Star Wars, just super animated, but it doesn't feel uncomfortable. It doesn't feel out of place at all.
Yeah, and I do like that there's, if you look at the detail in a visor, it does look like it's a classic the classic targeting computer, that Luke had in his eyes when he turned it off and trusted in the Force.
Yep.
We have a little bit of a trailer analysis coming to us from the comments. Our good buddy F105 Din is chiming in saying, I think he's talking about the first image of the green lights with the one boy. I think these, and this is him saying, I think these balls of light represent how all atoms are made of photons, and photons are how God consciousness travels. In the Clone Wars, Qui-Gon was the first to retain his identity in that one light. Let there be light, quotations. So, yeah, some deep metaphysical analysis. Could be. I like that theory.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just, the thing is with visions, that could be 110% accurate just because, I mean, they can literally do anything with this series. So, like, I could see it happening.
Yeah, now this got me the most excited probably out of the trailer. There's a couple other things I'm going to talk about that I really enjoyed, but seeing a new character, I think this character is in the dual sequel, it appears. But yeah, female Twi'lek. I mean, my thought instantly goes to Darth Talon because she's got red lightsabers and she's got that kind of, that vibe, I guess, from what I see. But I think she is appearing to be an ally to the Ronin. But yeah, I'm ready to see him teaming up with somebody with that's also a lightsaber user.
Yeah, he's gonna wreck everybody.
Oh yeah,
so nice.
Oh yeah, I'm sure his character is really good.
I'm honestly, like, I want to know more about him. I'm not even joking. Like, the Vision series gave us a new, intriguing Star Wars character that was like, okay, he needs to be a part of this community. We really need to know who he's all about, because literally from the moment he showed up on screen, I couldn't take my eyes off him. He reminds me of, did you ever see the show? Oh my God, it's a samurai show with Sam Jackson, Afro Samurai.
Oh, yep.
Did you ever see that anime before, Chris?
No, I haven't seen it.
So Afro Samurai, the Ronin in that reminds me of this Ronin in Star Wars. It's just how they're same character when it comes to their presence, how they carry themselves, how simple they are. But the moment they take out their weapon, like, it's over.
Interesting. I like that. X-Wings. We got X-Wings, classic X-Wings in Star Wars Visions. That's pretty cool. I don't think we've seen, like, legit X-Wings in Visions before. Maybe we have. All right, this is our first look at a returning arc or episode. This is the character of Y. I think it's Y. Right, Ben?
I think so.
Let me see. It's a Studio Citrus one. Looking this up as we speak because we do have descriptions and whatnot of every single one on here. F. The name is F. There we go. Yeah, she's going around with the yellow lightsaber. It's pretty cool. This one reminds me a lot of the Studio Ghibli one in Volume 1 of The Village Bride. It's very much a take on that. But it gets really real at the end of that first one when the guy pulls a blaster and he's got those enforcer droids and she just whips out the lightsaber and saves the day and flies off. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see what the. I guess the thing with me with this whole trailer in general, like with the shot of her, and the shots we've seen already so far, is just seeing like where these stories lead to. Like what I just wonder what they're gonna do to continue them because, like with normal Star Wars projects, like with whatever, like for example, like the Daisy Ridley movies, we probably have a general idea of what could happen with those movies, or with Mando or Andor or whatever. With Visions, I mean, I genuinely have no idea where they could go with this.
By the way, this is pretty cool. I'm looking at the descriptions, and we're not going to read through them all tonight because we have to, it'll take a long time to give the credit to everybody. And we do want to forward everybody to go to StarWars.com to check all these awesome descriptions and episode titles. But Kamikaze Duga plus Anima Studio is making the dual payback. Description reads as this: with the help of some unexpected allies, Ronan faces off against his greatest foe, a twisted Jedi known as the Grand Master, who is bent on revenge. So, oh man, this sounds great. And yes, I was right. I guess that he's a Sith, but he's fighting a Jedi, so it's a different flip on the whole thing.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, what do you think, Milton, about that? Like, do you like that they're flipping where like the quote unquote main character is a Sith instead of a Jedi?
Worked for me. I mean, I think you have to tell that perspective. I think it's okay that we see the perspective of the Sith and how they operate.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So this is a classic, cute, cute kind of animated character here. Little chibi kind of little bear, little guy here, little flowing cape. Pretty cool stuff there. Moving right along here. This is what made me very, very happy, because I don't think we've ever seen a Wookiee and an Ewok sharing the screen together. And this would appear to be in the duel, because it's that black and white kind of, and the frames per second look a little bit slow, as it would be with the dual animated style. You know, these kind of alien species in Star Wars go way back, if you could remember. Bring it back full circle to the beginning of this show, when Ben was talking about the Return of the Jedi behind the scenes. Well, originally it was supposed to be they go to Endor, which would have Wookiees. And then at one point, I don't know how the story went, but they were like, yeah, let's do Ewoks instead. So now we get a Star Wars story that has both Wookiees and Ewoks, which is going to be great.
Oh yeah, it's awesome that they're able to pull from stuff like that, just because, Visions, they can do whatever they want. So it's great they can kind of lean into some of those older concepts.
Yep. Next up, we have, this looks like it's the Ninth Jedi, Ben. We got the character on the speeder bike with looks like a droid in the sidecar there. This would be pretty fun, because there was like really good kinetic speeder chases in the Ninth Jedi itself. The first one was really, really cool.
Yeah. Well, the thing with the Ninth Jedi situation, it's going to be interesting to see how they do this episode, or a couple episodes specifically, just because it continues on to its own series. So I feel like they're going to kind of cliffhanger us or something.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, so getting into the next one, I love the color of the lightsaber here. I know it seems like a really simple thing, like, okay, animated lightsaber. But the way this animation is, it's almost like a pseudo Clone Wars animation. So that the way that blade, that green blade shines, is just so striking. And it just, if you're watching the trailer, just the way that the animation moves and it flows, I'm like, oh man, I don't know who's doing this one yet, this studio, but this looks awesome.
Yeah, that saber looks amazing. You're right. It's just a sharp green lightsaber. It looks like it's not like it's 2D, but it looks like it's live action. It's a good. I don't know how they pull this off, but it looks pretty solid.
Yeah, next up we have an image of a droid and a human just kicking down what looks to be like a door. So you got some kind of like robo character droid with like 6 arms or something. And, classic anime fashion. Let's go big, let's go bold, and let's have fun. Next up we have some battered up vehicle. It looks kind of like a TIE fighter with huge arms with firing missiles. So again, like zany designs. That's where Star Wars Visions really does well. But then like in the next image here, for instance, we have the return of a classic, a behemoth, if you will. An Imperial Star Destroyer is zooming down, jumping out of hyperspace. So it's great to see that in anime form. I know we've seen that, Milton. We've seen that in the Studio Trigger Twins episodes, where they had that like Super Star Destroyer thing going on.
Right. They did. Yeah, it pretty much looked like this. I think it was a little bit more animated, but it had this sleek look to it.
Oh yeah. So here's another image of that same Twi'lek character. Did not realize that she has an amputation on her leg that has a lightsaber, red lightsaber that is attached there. So again, the uniqueness, the creativity. Never seen anything like that in Star Wars before.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I'm interested just to see like what the context of all that is, you know?
We have AT-ATs or AT-ATs if you prefer, with red glowing lights stalking through the mist. Pretty awesome looking shot of an AT-AT. I don't think we've ever seen them with red lights like that. It's usually just like the black shiny visor. But fits so well with anime. Fits so well. You know, obviously you have a lot of mech type things in anime, a Gundam and whatnot. So these things fit very well with the art style. What can I say?
Oh yeah. All those types of Imperial vehicles I think they'll always hold a really good place. You know, just with this medium as a whole.
So I'm wondering if this Twi'lek character is maybe the love interest actually of the Ronin, perhaps. In this image, they're sitting together. It looks like she has an injured arm. She has a sling around her arm, and we also get to meet up with that old dude that was cooking the tea at the village there when they were repelling the bandits in the first volume. So it's going to be cool to get continuations of stories. See how this continues is going to be interesting. The next one just really focuses on the beauty of what can be with this medium. Probably the most beautiful shot here of just, again, the classic Star Wars shot of the hero's journey, so to speak, looking at the horizon. But oh my gosh, what a horizon this is.
Yeah.
The green, the ocean, the clouds. Like, this looks freaking amazing.
Yeah, that looks pretty amazing. I can't really describe it. Like, that's definitely, you know, they put some money in the show. Because you don't just make stuff look like this.
Nope. Yeah, that takes some real skill, real talent, really good hard work. These animators, man.
Right.
Well, having fun here, having another fun shot in the duel with some classic Ewok action. They got a campfire. They got their drums are beating. No, there is no trooper heads that they're beating on in this instance. But what's to say that could happen next? I don't know.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's always great to see Ewoks and all those furry creatures for Star Wars pop up.
Yeah, Milton, is this next image, is this the main character from The Ninth Jedi, perhaps?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, if it is, it looks like she's been through some
Actually,
stuff.
no. So weren't there a couple of them though? That there was like at the end of that episode, weren't there like 5 of them left or something? I
Yeah.
have to go back and rewatch it. 'Cause I know there was something, and I don't remember the Ninth Jedi looking like this animation style. I could be completely wrong. I have to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, I'm not sure because like I agree with Milton. I'm looking at it right here, and I don't know, just because I don't know. I mean, they might have tuned up the animation or whatever for this.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that animation style matches the like the first iteration of it.
Yeah, I feel like this isn't. I could be wrong. I mean, maybe they changed it up, but I don't remember this character too much. I have to go back and rewatch it, honestly.
Okay. All right. Moving on to our next image here. We are. Okay, this looks like the twins kind of animation in a way. More bright, stark kind of colors, vibrant.
Definitely more like anime style, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, if you told me this was the twins sequel, I'd believe you.
Another cute droid here. Another cute droid. Kind of looks like BD-1 from Jedi Fallen Order, actually, with the little like binocular type optics it has.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go. And here's another look at that character. Oh, she's got really cool design, because I'm noticing like her respirator is actually a stormtrooper, part of a stormtrooper's helmet. So she looks like she's got a great design. This is like right before she zooms across the screen and basically becomes like a transformer. So flying in the sky. And yeah. So that basically about does it for a quick look at some pretty awesome artwork from the trailer for Star Wars Visions Volume 3. Din F105 is saying, I found myself more excited about the Visions 3 trailer than the Mando because it showed new and beautiful images, which is what George always did. Mando takes down an AT-AT, seen that 500 times. Yeah, that's exactly a
He's
facts
not
on
wrong.
that. He is so not
Yeah,
wrong. I think we all can agree. That
I
was
mean,
my thought.
Yeah, and honestly, like if we're gonna get into that role, I mean, just to compare and contrast, I know you guys talked about it last week. I agree with you. I thought the trailer was just, it did nothing for me. And I love Mando and Grogu. I love the Mandalorian series. Don't get it twisted. But this is what you this it wasn't a great trailer. It could have been better.
Yeah.
It showed us nothing. It told us nothing.
Mm.
Um,
It was a
and
teaser to be
and
fair,
most
though.
times, right, true. But then it's like, give the point of a teaser is to give us something to say, oh, I can't wait for the official trailer to come out.
Yeah.
This was just like, okay, action shots, cute stuff. Okay. Like it told us nothing about what the story is going to potentially be. I've seen more teaser trailers or other teaser trailers actually make me invested in saying, oh
Yeah.
my God, I'm gonna watch it 30 times
Yeah.
to catch a little tidbit. This did nothing. The
I mean, look
Visions
at, yeah.
trailers, I was like, whoa, I'm hooked. Like it told me enough. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like I think most of the Star Wars teasers have always been pretty good. I mean, the first one is
Yeah.
The Force Awakens. I mean, you see so much new imagery in
I'm about
that.
to
And
say.
you're going like, "Yo, what is this?" I remember watching that trailer 500 times. Probably I did.
Dude, I'm about to say the greatest teaser trailer of Star Wars is whenever it's the voiceover, I think of Kylo Ren or whoever, when you first see the cross
Yep.
guard. I
Yeah.
watched that like
That's what I mean.
100 times.
I know.
Like I was like, oh, this is what okay, I'm locked in.
Yeah.
Mando didn't do that for me. Like
No.
You know
Mando
why?
did nothing for me.
You know why? It's because the people cutting up those trailers for those movies weren't the Disney Plus people cutting up the trailers. I mean, that's why let's just throw it out there. Like, I don't like to blanket statement a lot of things when I talk about media and film and movies and shows and everything. 90 actually, I could confidently say 100% or at least 99.9% of Disney Plus trailers are trash to mediocre, and they're all cut up by the same people. So this,
Yeah.
I'm assuming they used the same team that's on the Mando trailer team to cut up this trailer. I really do.
Yep.
So that's why I think that's why. And I also I think the thing is with Vision, kind of like Den mentioned in our chat. I just think with a property like that, like you're able to see more new things because there isn't in terms of live action, they're so restrained by like the story or canon or whatever. Visions you can kind of show whatever versus like with Star Wars, Jeff Snyder mentioned it a little bit on the hot mic the other day on Friday. He said the issue with Star Wars is it's not an event anymore where like now it's so common, it's so commoditized where it's just like fast food. It doesn't matter what it is, whether even if it's Andor, people who like Andor or Mando when it was good or whatever. We're seeing so much of it where it went from being like an event to being where it's kind of like watered down, where it's like, sure, you can go on to the next thing and be like, oh, I'll go to the next project, but have that mindset of I can just go to the next project. It just means everything's kind of less special, So I think that's what's kind of where we're at with this with Star Wars now. And we get something unique like Visions, it's like, dang, that really pops off because it's not kind of like the status quo.
Yeah, and bring it back to Visions as we close out for the week. I I think the best kind of reaction that this could get out of somebody was I was training one of my clients. And the guy's 16 years old, and he's not like a super diehard Star Wars fan. Like, obviously he's only 16, so like his Star Wars is the sequels. And I had told him about Visions, and this kid is a huge anime fan. I was telling him like, oh, did you watch Star Wars Visions? And he's like, no. I pulled up the article for Volume 3. I started running through all the studios that are working on it. And he just started freaking out because I was like, oh yeah, Kamikaze Duga, Project Studio Q, Production IG, Wit Studio, Kinema Citrus Company, Trigger, Polygon Pictures, David. I started going through this list and he was like, wait, what? Like for instance, like Wit Studio is the creators of Attack on Titan, which is like apparently his favorite like anime.
Yeah.
So
it's one of the biggest animes ever.
Yeah, he couldn't believe it. He was like, what's the budget on this? Like, how did Lucasfilm land these companies? He's like, I'm definitely watching it. So like, there's a lot of people like him that they're going to get that are not like super big hardcore Star Wars fans, but now they're going to have another way into the franchise and they might go, okay, I want to watch more of this. I want to watch more of this on Disney Plus because this is there already, or this movie I haven't seen, blah, blah, blah. So, hey, it's a brilliant move by them to like get more people involved with the franchise at least.
It's smart. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like Star Wars isn't just an American property anymore. I mean, yes, it's American owned. We got the IP, but you got Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, whatever,
Yeah.
all these animes that are made overseas that we Americans eat up and love, and now they're dipping their toes into Star Wars and making it their own. Like, but you got young kids who are 16 who are saying who more gravitate more towards Demon Slayer, but now are being reintroduced or introduced into Star Wars because of that
Yeah.
particular company. Like, how dope is that? And then you want to now bridge them both together. Now you have another new Star Wars fan who could potentially like the movies or the shows and whatnot.
Oh yeah. So I think that'll about do it. We're obviously all excited for Star Wars Visions Volume 3. It'll be out on October 29th, which is a Wednesday. So, we're about 3.5 weeks or so away from that, right in time for Halloween. But we will, of course, be back to break it down. We're going to do it in multiple installments. Not really sure how many episodes we're going to be breaking it down in, but we're definitely not going to try to fit all. I think it's 9 shorts in 1 hour here. So it'll be fun to break down over the course of weeks on the show here. But I want to thank you guys for joining us here tonight. Milton, where can people find you online if they wish to follow you?
Yeah. You guys can find me on X at Milton Weber 7 or Instagram at Milton7Weber. Hit me up. We talk sports, talk life, talk animation. We talk funny stuff. We talk anything you want to talk about. Just keep it positive, keep it chill. If not, I'll smack you. Appreciate you guys listening and watching in. So enjoy your weekend. Have fun.
Oh yeah, and I hope to talk to you about Jedi Survivor in about 2 weeks' time. Maybe you'll have tried the game at least a little bit in the meantime there. So looking forward to that. Yeah. Ben, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, you can find me just talking about pretty much the same stuff as Milton, really. At Real Ben Maynard on X or Instagram.
There we go. And you can find me also on X at Starrapter, and you can find all of my content, youtube.com/Starrapter, where I'll be posting the usual comic book reviews and whatnot in the meantime. But for Milton, for Ben, for Chris, a.k.a. Starrapter, that's going to do it for episode 210 of the Outer Rim Transmission podcast. Thanks, everybody, for watching and listening. Until next time, may the Force be with you, always, and transmission. Oh my gosh, that's the first time I actually flopped on the ending so bad, but yeah, we're going to cut it there. Good night, everybody.